Hey everyone, hope y'all are doing good. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. On all my knives, I really enjoy putting file work on them. This is a knife that I'm working on right now, just a little guy. And you file away along the corners of the spine and of the tang of your handle. And you can make some really cool patterns. So this is the one I'm working on right now. And this is one of my first knives I made a couple years ago. I really like this design as well. But on the knives I usually backfill the spine up with black epoxy. Alright, just dye the epoxy black when I'm putting it together, and it kind of backfills it, makes a nice contrast. But today we're going to make a necklace. So I got this 1/8 inch thin just some stock brass. I've done this before with stainless steel. It works really well. So this is my first time using brass. So what I've done is I've heated up the end here and I've squared it off over the anvil. So you need square to be able to do this. You can go thicker if you want, and again you can do it in different materials as well. So I've done it in stainless steel, doing this one in brass, but I mean you can do it in copper, aluminum. You know, you can kind of, the sky's the limit, just on what you feel like doing and whatever floats your boat. And so we'll get this clamped in the vise, and then I'll show you how I lay out and start doing my file work. Alright, so we got our piece in the vise, and I got a layer of blue layout fluid on it. I just use blue Dykem. This works really well. For a long time I just used a permanent marker, like a Sharpie, and just put a thin coat of that on there, and that works just fine. It just it rubs off a little bit more easily, so when you're working on it, it can be kind of easy to rub it off, and then you can lose your marks where you're gonna where you're trying to file. So next thing we're gonna do is got a pair of digital calipers. Now these are like only like $10 to $15. You can get them at like Menards, Amazon, and they're extremely useful, not just for this, but anytime I need to measure something for like even like pin placement on your knife handles. So I've tried to make sure that they're evenly spaced and centered on your knife tang. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the width of the material. Oops. Zero that out good. Alright, so we take our measurement, we have that, so like just get it close enough. So 5.5, you can lock that into place so it doesn't want to move on you. And then what we'll do, we'll just put that on the corner there, and we'll just slide this down. And then what I should be doing is removing some of that layout fluid, giving us a center line. Do it to the other side as well. Alright. Can you guys see that? I think you can. So that's going to be your center line. So the files that I like to use, I got this small chainsaw file, just nice round. I put a little bit of medical tape on the ends of mine. Just kind of helps with like blisters and just makes the handles more comfortable to use in general. Especially if you're going to be doing this for a few hours, you got a big tang that you're trying to do. And then I got this half round needle file. So when you're buying your files, be careful that you're not getting the diamond files, because they, here, I'll get one. I'll show you what I mean. Alright, So here is a half round diamond file. Now, because these diamonds are placed as kind of like a coating, you got the half round, but then the diamond coating takes out extra space, and so you can't really get very tight corners and nice like tight angles with the diamond files. At least that's been my experience, maybe just because I got a cheap set of diamond files. But I got this, and it has nice sharp edge. You know, I splurged a little bit. I don't remember the brand necessarily on this. If you guys need to know, you just leave a comment and I'll try to get back with you on that and try to figure out which brand this was. But this is a nice file, just a half round. So these two files are the only ones I'll use, and that's all you really need. All right. So what we'll do here is I like to start on the bottom, and I like just to make my first notch. And I'm just gonna file until I reach that center hash mark. And you're just filing diagonally into the corner. You try to stay at the same angle through all your cuts. It'll make it look nicer in the long run. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. So we got our first cut in. So now we got that first notch in. I like to go ahead and start marking where the rest of my round file is going to be going. And so what I like to do, what we're going to do is we're going to alternate going back and forth. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark how spread apart my lines are going to be. So here what I can do is I can go ahead and start about where I want that next one to be. Yeah, so I got that started, and then I can measure how far away. You don't have to measure, you can eyeball this. I eyeball it in the beginning, but you mess up a few times, and then one little mistake can kind of like ruin the whole piece. So it's just a big waste of time sometimes. So I'll just measure how far away that is from each other. I hope I'm explaining this okay, where it's understandable to you guys. I'm just going to mark all the way up my bar in alternating lines on either side of the center line there. Okay. So now I got those little hash marks in. That just shows us where we're going to start filing. So this is what we got so far. So again, we've just been using the round file, just alternating back and forth along our center line there. This last one, because this is going to be the top of that necklace that we're making, instead of just going straight across, I did like a 45-degree angle or so, and I went across that way, because that'll kind of help end this transition and kind of, well, kind of see how I did this one. It'll be kind of similar to that. So now what we'll do is we'll start using the half round needle file, and what we're going to do is start making cuts going like so, and we'll do that on the top of every single one, just on the top. I'm deciding now to do the vine pattern, so just like that knife I just showed you guys. So that's the design that we're going to do on this. So on the tops, we're going to use that half round file, and we're just going to cut lines on top of those round marks. Alright, so this is what we got so far. Now what I'm going to do is I want to work on this top a little bit. It's going to be the top of the necklace, okay? So you're just kind of eyeball it. But I'm going to start cutting right there. Okay. And then on the other side, much more difficult working around a camera. Oops. Yeah. Just gonna go in and around like that. Yeah, something like that. So the next thing we do is we got to clean up all this and just smooth everything down. So many times I see people posting their file work like on their knives and stuff like that, and it looks a lot like this, where you got a ton of just like flat lines like on the edges, you know, over here it'll be like just flat. And if you just put a little bit more time, like at that point you are so close to being done and having it look 10 times better. If you can just put a little bit more finish work into this, and that's what I'll do, and I'll show you guys the difference. But what you're basically just gonna do, I usually use my half round file. I'm probably gonna have to move the camera to actually do all this, because otherwise I'm just gonna be messing up a ton. But for these lines right here, you know, like, just kind of round them off a little bit. And what that's gonna do, yeah, I'm gonna have to move the camera, but that's just gonna round this off. Because you remember, this is supposed to be a vine, so we want it nice and flowing back and forth. We don't want any like straight lines in this, if we can help it. And so we want everything to look nice and flowing. So right here, we'll smooth that out. And on this side, we'll use that half round again. And just kind of work it like that. So it's not going to look as much like a circle, but it's going to more. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to have to move the camera. So sorry, you're not going to quite as good a view. But, yeah, but if you can just, we're just going to do a little bit more and we'll show you, and I'll show you, that's going to make it look a lot more finished and just make it a lot more smooth. So. Alright, this is what we got. So, some of the vine parts got really thin. And that's from me putting, when I was doing my round file marks, I put them too close to each other. So, if you want more space for your vine to have, you know, to not risk getting really thin vine, and then also you might space those out a little bit more than I did. Now that's going to change depending on how thick your stock is. So for this thin a stock, I need them spread out a little bit further, but if it was a little bit thicker than what it is now, it would be fine. I'm still happy with it though. I think it'll look fine once we get it finished. So now what we're going to do, normally I will heat this up and quench it or something, and then usually that darkens it. Though again, that's for like stainless steel. I'm not sure how that's gonna work with a brass. I'm sure it will still probably work. Would also might work nice if I gave it like a little bit of an acid bath, like put in some ferrochloride and then let it etch a little bit, kind of make it the outside a little bit more rough, the surface a little bit more rough. But once we get the thing darkened, what we'll do, we'll just polish off just the face, and then that's going to make some really cool contrast, I think, when we get this finished. So I'm going to go ahead and get this off. We'll heat it up. We'll just try that out first. We'll just heat it up, then quench it, and then we'll check out how it looks. Alright, well, that didn't really work. The places that were cut and a little bit higher of a polish, they're still kind of yellow, and then it wants to wipe away the tarnish from the heat or oxidization. And so I'm going to go ahead and soak this, and we'll try it again, and then we'll see if that works. Alright, well, that did not work either. So I will say it looked really cool when it came out of the acid. It looked kind of like a cast brass, where it was like yellow still, but like rough looking. But as you can see, still not. I really want those recesses where we cut with the file. I really want those dark. So I have some cold blue. Yeah, there we go. I got some cold blue. I've used this before. Or not this brand in particular, but I used the cold blue before, and I got it accidentally got it on some brass, and it did turn it black. So I'm going to try this and see what that looks like, and see whether or not that finish wants to stay on or not as well. So I'll be back. So this is what I was telling you guys about, how it looks right out of the acid. Kind of cool. So if this probably doesn't work, I might just leave it like this and then just polish off the top here, the raised surface, and that might actually look really cool too. So we got a Perma Blue and some Q-tips. Write in the comments right now if you think this is going to turn this black or not. It's made for steel, but might work. So let me know in the comments whether or not you guess if it worked or not. Here we go. Wow. Nothing's happening. Something's happening. But it ain't turning black. So if you thought it was going to turn black, you were wrong. Oh man. It's turning like darker, I guess. And it's turning darker. I don't know. Definitely not black though. Yeah. Nope. Not gonna work. So, clean this off. I'll acid etch it, and then we'll polish it up. See how that looks. Actually. You thought I was just gonna leave you guys there. No. Let's cut it. Drill our hole for a jump ring. And then we'll go through the process of polishing and stuff like that. Yeah, that makes more sense. So here we go. I got it drilled and cut a little, trimmed up a little bit. Got it in that acid bath, so it's all a nice matte yellow for the most part. Pretty happy with that. Let's see, the drill bits I use are these number 55. These are cobalt stub drill bits. So these can cut through stainless steel as well. They're pretty nice. So let's see. Yeah, so far so good. So now what we're going to do, all the raised areas on our file work, we're going to polish. So I got, what I use is I use a Dremel tool. I used to use the Dremel tool brand polishing wheels, but these things don't last terribly long, but they're like $9 to $12 a piece. And you can buy like a 20 pack of these, of all the different types of like polishing from, I think it goes from like 60 grit, maybe, let's see here, 80 grit all the way to 1200. So these, the dark green ones, it's 80 grit, and then this goes to 1200. So you got a lot wider range of grit sizes, and then also way cheaper. They don't last quite as long, but just how many you get is really cool. Again, you can just get these on Amazon. You can find them pretty easily. They come with these. You just unscrew this. You can put 1, 2, or 3 wheels on them. Really cool. I use them a lot for like small detail work, and use them pretty much for all of my jewelry. So we're going to go ahead and polish that. A side note, when working with brass, you got to be pretty careful. Depending on what type of brass you're using. This is just like, I don't know the exact alloy, but it was same stuff that I just bought pin stock for my knife handles. And if you're not very careful, depending on the alloy of brass, a lot of times it'll break apart and crack on you when you're trying to hammer it. Some brass alloys I can't hammer at all. As soon as I hit it, it just crumbles to pieces. There are brass alloys, it's called a jeweler's brass. You can get them off jewelry supply stores, like online, and that stuff acts very much like copper, just like more of a stiff, more of a firm copper, and you can work that really well. Usually I like to draw out and make a loop for where the necklace gets attached to. I think that looks a lot nicer, but just feeling how firm that this type of brass is, I knew that was not going to be an option for me. So that's why I drilled a hole on this. Also, the jeweler's brass, it will turn black once you heat it up. It oxidizes black. It's really nice to work with, but it does tarnish pretty quickly. So this will keep it shine a lot longer. Not a big deal or nothing, just a little bit different, and just something for you guys to keep in mind. You might just have to experiment a little bit if you're wanting to make them out of brass. So let's go ahead and get this polished up then. And there we have it, guys. Just got to put the chain on, and this will be done. Hope you guys enjoyed following along and seeing the process, and just trying to figure things out too, I guess. Yeah, it's a really fun thing to do. Got Valentine's Day coming up. It's a good idea for some of you guys maybe, but and this can be applied to everything from knives, necklaces, bracelets, earrings. I mean, just imagination, you know, the sky's the limit. just what you want to do or you can think of to do. And if you guys like the video, consider subscribing, commenting, and liking the video. I'll be posting more. I'm trying to get more consistent at it, and you know, I'm learning. So if there's anything you guys didn't like or would prefer me to change, or if there's something that you would like to see more of, please let me know. This channel's pretty new to me, trying to just figure things out. But I want to make content that you guys like. So just let me know what you guys thought. If there's anything that I can improve upon, I'd greatly appreciate it. So, well, that's all from me for today, guys. So I'll see you later. And if you liked the video, guys, please like, comment, consider